How to handle conflict in these traumatic times. Given the traumatic experiences, we are currently faced with tempers flaring, loud, obnoxious, swearing tantrums are ensuing between friends, families, and even neighbors.
I'm sorry for laughing, but it's so prominent. It's
Yes.
so loud right now that as you're saying those, it's everybody.
And it's only going to accelerate. Okay?
Yeah, I
and
can see that.
Yeah. I mean, individuals are easily triggered, as is evident in many households and on many Facebook threads, especially in our group, Awaken the Shift.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Does anyone really enjoy conflict and all the arguing that can ensue? In this video, we're going to explain how to handle conflict in these traumatic times. Hey, Awaken the Shift group, it's Todd and Anna here.
I'm so happy to be here.
Excellent. All right.
I'm always happy to be here.
Right. And if you're not here in the Awaken the Shift group, be sure to check out our private Facebook group. We have over 26,000 awakened individuals getting together and growing themselves over in our Awaken to the Shift private group on Facebook. You just go in the search bar, push in Awaken to the Shift, and we have another group, Awaken the Shift in Consciousness. That's more. Yeah, it don't matter.
That's true.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Do both.
Right. Right. Okay, back to what I was saying. Different perspectives are not only important, but a necessary aspect in relationship building. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right. So how can we hear an idea out, right? Discern it, value or not? Does it have value or doesn't it?
Okay. So let me just slow down a minute because I heard a little twang happen.
Yeah.
So when you said idea, he means idea.
Idea. It's that New England accent.
Yeah, no, but we all want to make it clear what we're talking about here. Like,
Right.
how can we hear each other's ideas? So that's
Right. And at the same time, get along with each other in a healthy way. So as we're co-creating the new earth, we run into challenging times and we're learning how to handle conflict. This would be it would be a significant benefit.
It's huge. It's everything. Communication is everything.
Right.
So when you're in the middle of a conflict, typically what happens is, and I'll use my fist as two people.
Right. You can't do that, especially in these times.
Well, what happens is you kind of want to trump. So here's your friend or family member, and
right.
and you just kind of want to, so we got to do this. Right. Sometimes we got to come down twice because the tempers are so flared.
Right, because you got to understand we are a tone, we're a vibration, so there's a spectrum. And you might be on the more awakened aspect of the spectrum, and this is the non-awakened. So it doesn't matter what you say to them, their beliefs are influencing their perception. Remember I spoke about beliefs and how this whole shift was supposed to be noticing, identifying, recognizing, addressing too, and then transcending our beliefs, which will open our awareness, and we'll be able to see more. Individuals that haven't awakened yet, they're at the beginning aspect of the spectrum. So it doesn't matter what you say to them, they're vibrating and they only can hear what they believe in. So when you're telling them stuff that's actually truth and reality, they think it is just off the wall.
Yeah, so it's conspiracy, so theory
oriented. Right, which was created by the CIA to
do exactly what they got us doing.
Right.
So, but it is interesting that so while you were talking, Todd, what came to me was knowing that the different spectrums, just knowing that as someone who's trying to lift my vibration up, I could. I don't want to get hung up on the word should. We could. Kind of take just a tiny little step back, and it's going to take courage so that you don't escalate the situation.
Right.
So we got to be that one.
Right. And then, another way you could do it too is just avoid all people that aren't awake. Right? Yeah. I've tried both ways, actually. So.
Well, considering we're going to be talking about way showers next video, we
you
want
actually have to get out there.
We got to get out there and we got to start sharing.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And so yeah, we got. This is a great topic. We got a lot of things to talk about. So okay, thank you. As usual. Okay, so one of the things that we need to be aware of when we're in conflict is what it's called posturing. Okay, whether it's your posture or their posture. And I'm not talking about standing tall or sitting tall. I'm talking about the body language. I'm talking about, are the arms folded? You got to consider if you want to be right in the conflict, because that's going to kind of have a certain look to yourself. Right. You'll see the look to your friend, foe, family member. And you'll know with the posturing whether each of you, or at least the other person, is interested in that win-win solution. You know, so we want to be set up for success, not for failure. Correct. So we got to watch that body language. Arms are folded, that body stance, that facial expression, even a yawn. Yes. So when you share with each other, the group, the coworker, whatever the situation is, you know, be sure to talk about the good things as well as not the so good things. I don't want to say the bad things because I want to pull the spectrum of separation and duality. Right. We want to kind of keep it as the good and the not so good and call it what you want. So as we're thinking about all these things, we want to dive a little bit deeper on solutions. So when we're looking at that posturing, you know, what kind of solution can we come up with so that we stay in a higher vibration? So first thing we need to do is exhale. We're going to breathe. Because when that anger comes up, it's you know, we're all tense too. And then sometimes it's really beneficial to kind of step into, now I'm sitting here, but I would step into the conversation, wanting to really hear the entire perspective of whoever you're chatting with. Correct. So if I kind of pull myself in a little bit instead of having that body posture of, you know, don't even get close to me, right, then there you go. There's that language is speaking to you loudly.
Right.
So we got to come from that brave and from curiosity to want to hear the whole story. So maybe you could try saying, "Tell me more. I don't understand what you're talking about. You know, tell me more. I need to understand the whole picture of, you know, what's going on for you." So these are just little things where this is where we're vibrating higher. Now imagine if you guys are kind of doing a fight, kind of thing, and then someone says, "Tell me more. I don't understand." Whoa, right. The blood pressure goes right down. Yep.
So usually ego related. One or both of you are in your ego if you're wanting to be right. Blaming, winning instead of mutual compromise is evidence. Okay? Hurting one another is that's just not good. So spiritually speaking, you know, of course, you want to exhale and you want to breathe. Recognize that all conflict comes from an internal belief. One of you or both of you may be stuck in a belief that no longer serves the situation. This is where the issue stems from. This is what the shift is all about reconciling these beliefs. All right, we don't get rid of beliefs. Beliefs are intertwined into the fabric of our reality. You can change your belief, but you can pick your belief back up 6 months later. But the whole objective of the shift, of one baseline aspect of the shift in consciousness, is to NIRA, right? Notice, identify, and recognize, address to, and transcend those beliefs. So we have beliefs about the media, and that's what we're really talking about. It's how the fear-mongering media and individuals that are still asleep, which is causing people to butt heads. Their beliefs, like I said, they're at the beginning aspect of the spectrum. They're just starting to awaken, or some of them aren't even awake. And not everybody's going to awake either. So there's many different nuances to this, right? Not everybody's going to wake up, but some individuals you can nudge and you can get them to look at their beliefs and to realize they don't serve them anymore. That's really what the shift's about. And then it goes into a lot of different aspects about beliefs about physical reality, like this table. And once we start breaking those beliefs down, that's where the magic comes from and what we're going to be able to do and go into dimensions, and that's a whole nother show.
Well, eventually we got to figure out how to get along because if we're going to create the new earth,
Right.
it's paramount. So we are in like a huge training ground,
Yes.
and that's how we consider the Awaken the Shift page. It's a training ground. It's a time to practice, and noticing when you're getting triggered. If you just wrote something, you're like, whoa, that's a lot of anger there. You might want to kind of soften it up and come back from the perspective of the higher vibration kind of discussion that's going on. So, okay, so you want to finish?
Well,
like,
I think just going off of what you just said, where you're bringing in, really want to, when you're whether you're face to face with an individual or online, and someone throws something at you, sit back and listen to your intuition, and then once you start understanding how to tie into your inner senses, you'll have better comebacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other thing is, wow, we're a little off track here on our outline here, but the other thing is to recognize that, someone might have something really, a whole different paradigm, a whole different perspective to share with you that you're kind of like, whoa, I hadn't thought about it like that.
Right.
And
right.
that's a benefit. Okay, and then the other thing that we need to be aware of is the tempers.
Yes.
Okay, so when we're truly interested in that win-win solution, the tempers may be easier to maintain like a low roar,
right.
instead of what can be contrived with a very heated argument. So I love that word inventory. Take an inventory of what's going on for you. What's the need to confront? What's the need to blame? What is your judging, the low blows, the put downs, all the things that trigger the ego on both sides. It's both sides.
Absolutely.
So full-on attacks from one or the other will not bring any kind of positive solutions whatsoever. And this is where that favorite phrase is choose your battles. And how important is it really? So the other option is to table the topic, set it aside, maybe later. So then on that higher vibration portion where we kind of exhale and breathe, stay focused on the solution. Maybe you could say, let's stay focused right now. What would be a good solution? And, they're still fighting. It's like, no. Let's think about a solution. And they might need to hear it twice, maybe 3 times, so that they get that you really want to hear what that they have to say. And we all love that. We all want to be heard. So if there's still too much anger, table it. Maybe tomorrow. Just say, let's take time off on this, and maybe we can come up with a couple of good ideas and have this conversation continue tomorrow.
Right. And that's right. I think you said you didn't say Stephen Covey, but Stephen Covey always had that win-win. So 7 habits of highly effective people, the win-win situation.
Well, because if you break it all down, you got the win-lose, you got the lose-lose, you got the lose-win.
Right.
So
win-win.
And we all want to win.
Yeah.
We all want to win.
Right. You also, you want to be sure you are in a place to hear the other person out. Let them talk. Don't interrupt them. Patiently and courageously wait to ask any question. Let them be heard. Because actually, as you're doing that, your higher self, your intuition, your inner senses will be guiding you on how to get through the conversation. But it's slowing yourself down enough to understand that it isn't just me in the conversation. I got my higher self guiding me through the conversation, right?
Yeah.
And then now back on the objective reality, you want to act as if you're in their shoes. How would you feel if the roles were reversed, right? Because you got to understand, they're not awake. So when they are fighting you, they literally believe their way is reality. Because don't forget, they've been sipping that Kool-Aid for so long, it's reality to them. And you're on the outside going, what are you doing, dude? But you can't be like that. So then it's more about compassion. You almost got to have compassion for these people. Don't get mad, be compassionate.
Well, and know that you're going to get a turn.
Right.
If you hear them all out.
Yeah, what's your solutions things you do with that?
Okay, so we gotta, and it's a miniature version. It's a spiral notebook. All right. Can you tell that it's a spiral notebook?
Yeah, they can see that. Okay.
So the suggestion that we're offering, and I've done this in my family as the children were growing up. We had like family meeting here. You don't have to get so specific to a special book or anything, but if there's a lot of conflict going on, you
Right.
might. I used to also in my past do classroom meetings, and that's all I did was go to fourth grade, go to second grade, go to sixth grade, and we just had the book, the classroom meeting book, fourth grade meeting book, and so we're suggesting that whatever the problem is, write down on this side of the paper. The solutions go over on this side. So at any time you can always flip back and go, okay, so what did we talk about? No, that's not what we decided. And so when you're coming up with a solution, write many ideas. You might have 2-3 ideas. I might have one idea. And then the idea is to kind of check off, mark off, scratch off the ones that don't work, the ones that you're not going to be happy with. Right. But there could be 2 left over. And if you blended it together, it could be an awesome solution. So again, when it has that feeling of, oh, I don't know, it's very important. It's very important. It's we're going to write it down. Okay. Now, when you're in the middle of it, you're not doing this on Facebook and stuff. You're not going to write it down. So, but it is a great option to. Of course, you might want to get a larger book,
right,
and save it and have a special place for it. And with my kids, they would pull it out of the drawer if they had a conflict with one of their sisters, and. But they would write it down, and they knew that when that meeting was coming, they're going to get it addressed, And then 2 days later, when we have the meeting on Thursday evenings, they're like, "Oh, we worked it out." And sometimes they didn't work it out. So, but they knew that was their special time to get heard. So there's an option there. So, all right, where we're at.
You finish it out, and then I'll close it out.
All right. So, you want me to?
Yeah. Well, the 2 life lessons.
Oh, okay. All right. So, 2 life lessons. I needed that trigger. And that's a good trigger. Right. Speaking of triggers. Okay, so there's love and there's forgiveness. If you think about any of the life lessons that you've kind of come across, it's all about coming from love. And so many times we have to kind of have that forgiveness piece, because without it, then we can't have the love part. Right. So forgiveness means letting go. I mean, that doesn't mean giving up. Okay, but an honest letting go is making sure you have taken care of your needs as well, or concerns, and it makes forgiveness easy when you know that you have that win-win solution. So that genuine and honest effort to resolve an issue makes love kind of fall back into place. And makeups come from the heart, helping each other, giving again instead of holding back. So it's important to recognize. I mean, just take an inventory of how did the day go? What happened exactly? Where was the love? Was there any forgiveness? Notice things. I mean, with all the time that we have on our hands right now, because we're all kind of shut down, hardly anybody is working. Right. We got to stay in the house. So we have a lot of time on our hands. So what can we do? We can get on the internet, and we can be making everybody wrong about whatever their posts are, and it's tiring. It's like unconstructive. We don't have that constructive routine where we get up and we get dressed and we get the kids and we get ready to go to work and gotta get gas and that constructive kind of a day. It's very unconstructive. And then if you do have children, kind of even makes it more so. Because they're kind of cutting up over here and they're having a fight or something's going where they're calling for you, whatever it is. So just make that inventory about, was it coming from love, or was it, and did you have that forgiveness piece in there as well? Right. So now we're going to exhale again and breathe. And I say exhale instead of inhale, because we got some pent up energy in here and we want it out. So if we add air onto that, right. So it's just a different option, and not only that, but if you have to think about it, like, I need to exhale right now, instead of, no, I need to breathe right now. You're like a little confused. You can even start laughing, like, what am I doing here? Okay, and then once the win-win energy enters the conversation, notice the body language is relaxed on both sides. Okay, and the best part, of course, is the makeup, the hugs, the kisses, the sex, all the reasons why we're here on the planet having a human experience. Yeah. Right? It's why we're here. We're wearing these clothes.
Right. Yeah. All right. So wrap up this video. Consider if the issues are mutually resolved. You want to embrace your differences. Place all your ideas.
His ideas.
Into your spiral notebook. And then mutually cross out the ones.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Cross them out. Blend them together.
Yeah. And then remember, too, the spectrum. So when you're speaking to people, don't take it personally when people don't understand your perspective, right? Which is your perception of reality, which is influenced from your beliefs. Remember, thoughts don't create reality. Perception creates reality. And beliefs influence perception. So the whole media or the whole is to get people's beliefs all tangled. And people need to get untangled from that. It's going to take time. And as we were saying in the last video, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out here pretty soon that should wall up the consciousness of the people.
The big wake-up call.
Right.
So while you were talking, I just want to stress one part about when you're coming from your perspective, it's not about me. And I think you mentioned that. Whatever.
Yeah, their reality is their reality. So whatever their perception is and whatever their beliefs are is influencing their perception. That is their reality. Okay, so if they're watching a certain mainstream media, I'm just using news to get the point across, but if they weren't watching certain stations with the mainstream media, they're only getting one, they're getting a story, they're not getting the story, okay? So you got to realize that, and usually the ones that are like that are the most arrogant people you will meet. I know, believe me, it's a pet peeve of mine. It's ignorance and arrogance, and people that don't know what they don't know. Big pet peeves of mine. But I've learned to deal with it through all this.
But I have my hand up.
Yeah.
But I want to say, I was that too. We were that, we all going through all kind of ignorance and arrogance, and because it's part of getting rid of that 3D phase and rising up. So some people overcome it easier than others.
Right.
Right.
All right, so I think that's going to wrap up this video.
Yeah.
And we'll have another video coming out Thursday, and then we are going to get on a schedule. Not yet, but I think we're getting near that to get out 2 videos a week. So be on the lookout for that.
Well, I know that we're going to do a video on Thursday, but whether it's out on Thursday might be a different story. Just keep your eyes open. They're starting to come. Oh, you know what, too? On the Facebook, on the left-hand side, there's a column of listed things. I can't remember. And there's, what is the word? So that everybody can find the different, and the other videos that we've done, they're in there. What is that section called?
Announcements?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just go on the left-hand side and find the word announcements. Click on it, and then you'll see the other videos you might want to go and watch. Todd did a great write-up on why the politics has to be in the contrast of Awakening to the Shift. So just go over there and check it out.
All right. Other than that, have a great day.
Create a great day.